Are the Philistines from the Bible the same as the Palestinians today? If you've ever been confused by this, you're not alone. Their names may sound similar, and both are connected to the same region, but they are vastly different. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of who the Philistines were in biblical times, who the Palestinians are today, and what the Bible says about both. Stick with me as we unravel this fascinating historical and biblical mystery. The Philistines were an ancient people mentioned frequently in the Old Testament. They were among Israel's most formidable enemies and lived along the coastal regions of Canaan, in cities like Gaza, Ashkelon, Ashdod, Ekron, and Gath. This area, known as Philistia, became their stronghold around the 12th century BC. The Bible identifies the Philistines as one of the Sea Peoples, a confederation of naval raiders who disrupted civilizations across the eastern Mediterranean during the Late Bronze Age. Many scholars believe they came from regions like Crete or other parts of the Aegean. The Philistines were skilled in iron metallurgy, which gave them a military advantage over the Israelites. Their iron-based weapons and chariots made them a powerful force in the region. Throughout the Bible, the Philistines are portrayed as a pagan people who worshiped deities like Dagon, Baal, and Ashtoreth. This clashed with Israel's monotheistic faith in Yahweh, leading to repeated conflicts. Some of the most famous biblical stories involve the Philistines. For instance, Judges 13-16 tells the story of Samson, a judge of Israel, who used his God-given strength to fight the Philistines. His final act, destroying the temple of Dagon, is a vivid example of the tension between these two groups. Another iconic story is David's battle with Goliath in 1 Samuel 17. This wasn't just a physical battle, it symbolized God's power to overcome impossible odds. The Philistines remained a significant force until they were subjugated by larger empires like the Babylonians in the 6th century BC. By the time of the Roman Empire, the Philistines had disappeared as a distinct people group. Their cities were destroyed or absorbed, and their identity faded into history. Fast forward thousands of years to the 20th century, and we meet the Palestinians, a modern Arab people who have lived in the region known as Palestine. Unlike the Philistines, the Palestinians are not an ancient enemy of Israel, but are part of a political and territorial conflict over land and statehood. The term Palestine was first used by the Romans after the Bar Kokhba revolt in AD 135. They renamed Judea as Palestina, drawing from the name of the ancient Philistines to sever Jewish ties to the land. The Palestinians are primarily Arabs with cultural, religious, and linguistic ties to the broader Arab world. Their identity as a distinct group emerged during the 20th century, especially during the British Mandate of Palestine and in response to the establishment of the State of Israel in 1948. Today, Palestinians live primarily in the West Bank, Gaza Strip, and neighboring countries. The ongoing Israeli-Palestinian conflict is a political struggle over land, self-determination, and national identity. The Bible prophesied the destruction of the Philistines as a judgment for their pagan practices and oppression of Israel. For example, Amos 1 verses 6-7 declares God's punishment on Gaza, a key Philistine city. These prophecies were fulfilled as the Philistines disappeared from history, leaving only archaeological traces of their once powerful civilization. While the Palestinians are not the Philistines, the Bible does speak about the nations surrounding Israel in the end times. For instance, Zechariah 12 verse 3 says, "On that day, when all the nations of the earth are gathered against her, I will make Jerusalem an immovable rock for all the nations." Many believe these prophecies point to ongoing tensions in the region. The Philistines and Palestinians may share similar-sounding names, but their histories, identities, and roles are vastly different. The Philistines were an ancient enemy of Israel, while the Palestinians are a modern people engaged in a political struggle. Understanding these distinctions helps us appreciate the rich and complex history of this region. Now that you've learned about the differences between the Philistines and Palestinians, what are your thoughts? Leave a comment below. We'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating insights into biblical history and its connections to today's world.